there and welcome to Janal Dolakya Yoga with me, Janal Dolakya. Today I have an awesome yoga practice targeted for your hips. Now hips are something which get quite tight in most of us due to a lot of sitting. So let's get started and let's work with our hips today. So let's get started and meet me in a Sukhasana or a cross-legged position. And just notice how you feel in this particular posture. If you are with your knees lifted up and somewhat looking like this, that means your hips are quite tight and you need to work on that. And that is what this video is all about. We eventually want to get our knees as close as possible towards the floor and remain upright. So just check in with your hips, check in with your spine, try to lift your spine up and push down through your hips. And then from there, bend your knees and keep your feet around 2.5 feet apart. Now option 1, take your hands behind for support. We'll start with this option and then start to drop your knees from side to side. So I drop both the knees to the right side and then to the left. Let's do a few rounds of this. And it's okay if your opposite buttock is lifting while you're doing this. So you just want to maintain the distance between the 2 feet and keep drawing the knees from side to side. Keep breathing as you do this movement. We're just mobilizing this hip joint and making it ready for the practice further. Let's do it 3 more times. 2 and 1 last. And now we add another layer to this. You will release your hands, make a tight fist, open your hands in a T. So you will drop your knees to the right, turn your body also to the right, open your hands out and allow your forehead to touch down. Now you may not touch all the way, wherever it's possible. If you're here, even here, or maybe just upright. So try not to touch your hands on the floor though. Come back to center, drop to the left and pull your hands back, forehead down. And let's continue doing this to the right. Inhale as you come up and exhale as you drop back. And you will notice that you will slide forward while doing this practice. So feel free to plonk yourself back. Let's continue. Drop to the right. Take the hands up as you lean your body down. And the left. Remember, inhale up, exhale to the right, inhale up and exhale to the left. Let's do one last round. I'm almost at the out of my mat. If you want to go back, feel free to do that. I'm just going to finish this last round and then slide back. Come back to center, come back on your mat and get your feet together in Baddha Konasana. You can hold your big toe, pushing your thighs towards the floor and length in your spine. Keep looking nice and straight. Take a moment to get comfortable here. Check in with your hips. How does it feel? Check in with how the right side feels. Check in with how the left side feels. And then slowly start to flap your thighs in. You can keep it nice and slow, or you can also go a little faster in your pace. And slowly reduce the pace, come back to center. Now from there, take your right leg and you're going to cradle it. So you're going to put the foot in the elbow, cradle the leg and the other elbow around the knee and cradle it. As if you're holding a baby, cradle pose. Keep your foot flexed and start to rock from side to side. Now with the bottom leg, if this is not feeling comfortable, you can even extend your bottom leg out. This feels even more comfortable. Yeah, so you can try this, keep cradling. But do not try to round yourself here. You want to really lift up. And if this is inaccessible for some of you, then you can hold your leg like this also. This is also an option. You can keep moving side to side. And then very slowly bring the foot just above your knee. The foot is flexed and I'm going to show this little bit sideways. So my right foot is on the left knee, the foot is flexed, my hands are behind, fingertips facing the front. I open the shoulders, lift the chest up and I glide my left foot towards me. Now, you don't want to be here in this particular stance that I am, where my back is rounded. You want to lift your chest up. Bring your chest closer to your right leg. Now, the further you bring your left leg towards you, the more intense the stretch gets. The further you take it away from you, the less intense the stretch is. So you can choose your level where you want to be today. And once you've found what works for you, remember to open the chest, push your chest forward towards your right shin bone, and very importantly, don't let this right knee come close to you. You want to draw the right knee away from you. That is when the real work will happen in your right hip. Stay there, shoulders down, chest open, breathe. And also one more point, do not lift your buttocks up. Both buttocks need to be firmly grounded. Stay there for a few more breaths. Let that work happen on the right hip. Remember to keep pushing that knee away from you. And that's how you activate the right hip. One last big deep breath here. And let's transition to the seated pigeon pose or the fire log pose. So for that, fold your bottom leg in and get it exactly under the top knee. I'm just going to come back in this angle. So the bottom leg, you're going to plant right under your knee. So it's not Sukhasana, it's not cross-legged, but it is more like this equilateral triangle that you're forming. So one foot is above the knee and the other foot is below the knee. Okay. Now if this is too much, you can choose to drop your top foot down. Okay. So this is a regression and this is a progression. So you can choose where you want to be. And also this knee might not be exactly down here. It might be somewhere up here and it's okay. So choose wherever you are, whatever you want to do with your top leg. Get comfortable here, buttocks pressing down. And inhale, take both your hands up, extend. And exhale, fold forward. Again, wherever you reach, that's okay. You can just touch your elbows down, relax your neck. Stay here, ensuring that you're pressing your buttocks down. You're not lifting from your buttocks, pressing the buttocks down and noticing all the work that's happening on your right hip. Enjoying that sweet release on the right hip. Keep breathing. See that your shoulders are relaxed. Draw them nice and down. Just a few more breaths here. Really connect with your breath in the pose. And then on your next inhale, walk your fingertips towards you and allow that to lift up. Slowly release the legs and come back into Baddha Konasana. So join the soles of your feet in Baddha Konasana and notice the difference. The right side feels a bit more opened up than the left side. Stay here. And let's do this whole sequence on the left side. So cradle your left leg, bring your left leg, one elbow, holding the foot, the other elbow, holding the knee, interlace your fingers and hold your leg and start to cradle it. Again, you have the option of making the bottom leg straight and start to cradle. Keep moving side to side. And very slowly now, land your foot or the ankle just above your knee. Ensure that you're not placing it on the knee. You don't want to pressurize your knee joint. So it is just above your knee. And the foot is flexed. So the toes are open towards you. Now hands go back and pull the leg towards you. Choose what intensity you can take as long as your hip does not lift up. So you don't want to be here. So both your buttocks have to be down and then your foot is firmly pressed, palms pressed. Remember, open chest. Bring your chest forward, not your neck, okay? Try not to duck your neck forward. Try to bring your chest forward. And then very importantly, with your left knee, push the knee away from you. You notice this little movement? I'm not bringing it close to me. I'm pushing this left knee away from me. And that is where the real work is happening. Let's stay here for a few breaths. With every inhale, expand the chest. With every exhale, press your foot firmly down. Keep breathing. See that your shoulders do not hunch up to your ears. Draw them back down. And then slowly start to release this, or rather transition and fold your bottom leg into this double pigeon pose. So stack your knee on top of the foot and foot on top of the knee if you can. And like I said, if you're here, it's okay. And if this is not approachable, simply drop your foot in front of your knee. So choose what works for you. And then inhale, big breath. Lift your hands up. Exhaling, fold forward. Remember, when you're folding forward, you don't want to lift your buttocks up. You want to press your sitting bones down. You can come on your fingertips. You can rest your elbows down. Keep your neck super relaxed. Let's stay here for a few breaths. And noticing all the work that's happening on your left hip. And for most of us, one side will feel a bit more tighter than the other side. And that's completely natural. Well, it's not completely natural. We have made it natural because we tend to use too much of our one side of the body and we don't use the other side. So if you are overusing or underusing one side of the body, it can cause an imbalance. And that is what happens with most of us. Few more breaths here. You can go a little more further. You can walk your hands more forward, bring your head more down, wriggle your way towards the floor, wherever you reach. And then slowly walk your way out of it and gently release your legs. And let's directly hop into Malasana, or the Indian squatting pose. So open your feet out wide, lift your hips up and join your palms in Namaste and use your elbows to push your thighs out and upright your back. Now for some of you, your heels may not touch and you may be somewhere here, and that's okay. You can always take some rolled up towel under your heels to support and cover this distance. You can fold your mat also and get some cushioning, or else just stay with your heels up. That's okay. Try not to collapse down. Try to lift the chest up. Push with your elbows, push the thighs out. Stay here for a few breaths. Allow that sweet release to happen in your hips. Notice that you're pushing equally with both your elbows, not pushing one side more or less than the other. Alright, let's from here. Get your hands on the floor and lift your hips up. Come into a forward bend. Arrange your feet and then walk yourself to the top of your mat. So keep your feet hip distance apart. Come into a Uttanasana, forward bend. And you will notice that the more you work on your hips, the more your hamstrings get opened up. They're all interconnected. Ideally, everything in our body is super interlinked. So if you're working on your hips, you will notice the effects on your back also and even on your hamstrings. So notice how the forward bend feels. Even though we have not done any work on our hamstring, the forward bend feels much more approachable. From there, transition both your legs back into a downward dog or a Adho Mukha Svanasana. And really push your hips up, stomach to the thighs, press firmly with your palms. So from here, let's transition to a pigeon pose and take your right leg forward in a lunge between the two hands. Drop your back knee down. Now we're going to take the right leg to the left edge of the mat. So crawl your way towards the left edge of the mat and drop your right knee down. Now see that you do not plonk your weight on the right side, but try to come to the center. Shift your weight towards the center. And it's okay if your leg is not in this 90-degree angle. Even if your leg is somewhere inside, it's completely fine. So the angle of the leg doesn't matter. What matters is that you are exactly in the center of your mat. So choose whatever angle your leg is in. Shift your weight to the center. If you notice the back foot is flat. And then inhale, lift the chest up. And on the next exhale, fold forward. And again, take this opportunity to once again check in that you're not shifting all your weight to the right side, rather rotating this left thigh towards the floor. You want to have this internal rotation of the left thigh. And that is when the work will be felt on the right side. Stay here for a few breaths. You can either stay here, or if you want, you can go even further, letting your forehead rest down. This can be quite an intense posture for many of us. So just approach it mindfully. Notice where you can be today. And if you feel that for some reason your weight is constantly shifting to the right side, you can take your right hand and push your body weight to the left side. You can allow your right hand to pivot your body weight towards the left side. Let's stay here for a few more breaths. With every inhale, you want to extend your spine, and with every exhale, you want to shift your left thigh down. This is one of my favorite stretches. And it really works deep down in those hips. Alright, slowly lift your head up. Use your hands. Transition your way up beyond your fingertips. And then press your palms down. Tuck your back toe. Lift your back knee. And we're going to transition back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stay here for a few breaths. Notice the difference between the right and the left hip. There's a very clear difference. Just this one posture feels quite different on the side that you do it compared to the side that you have not yet done. Alright, let's move to the left side. So very slowly bring your left leg forward in a lunge. Drop your back knee down. Now from here, we're going to take the leg to the right side, which is the opposite side. So I crawl my leg to the right side, rest my knee down, and I straighten my back leg and press the back foot also down. Now ensure that your weight is not shifting or plonking to the left. Try to use your hands, come back in the center. Doesn't matter what angle you have of your left leg. Exhaling, forward bend. Once you are here, check in again. See that you're not shifting to the left side, but you rather want to roll your right thigh towards the floor. And again, you can use your left hand to give you that nudge to shift your weight to the right. And let's stay for a few breaths. Once you feel your body is in the center, you can extend your hands forward, forehead on the floor. Take a few deep breaths. Notice all the sensations on your left hip. then very gently use your hands to slowly lift up. And then press your palms, tuck your back toe, lift your back knee up, and transition back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Notice how the left side feels now. Alright, slowly drop your knees down and come lie down on your back. So use support of your elbows and lie down on your back. Keep your knees bent. So we're going to approach the pigeon pose in one more way by lying down on our back. Take your right foot on your left thigh. So if you see, we have been basically working with this angle of the leg, and we've been doing this posture in different ways. So right now we are in a supine position, lying on our spine. So your foot is on your thigh, and then use both your hands, one hand between the space of your leg and the thigh, and the other hand outside, and bring the leg towards you and hug your leg with your hands. Now, either you're hugging your shin bone with your hands, or if that's too much, you can also hold the back of your thigh. So wherever you are, get a nice grip, and then again push this right elbow, use your right elbow and push the right knee away from you. That is when you're working and activating that right hip. We did the same thing in the earlier posture when we were seated. Now we're just exploring it while we're lying down. Stay here for a few breaths. Keep that action of the right knee going away from you very active. And slowly release your hands. Open your hands in a T. Keep the leg position as it is and drop both your knees towards the right side. Now you want to keep your left shoulder down. You can take your right hand and just push the thighs even further down. And you get a nice stretch, release on the left hip. You can turn your neck to the right, to the left palm. And slowly use your hands, bring the leg up, release the right leg out. Let's do the opposite side. Bring your left leg on your right thigh. Get comfortable with this angle and then use both your hands. Pull your right leg closer to you. Either you're holding your shin bone or you're holding just under your thigh. Once you have your grip, work on pushing your left knee away from you. That transition of the left knee going away is really the key element here, the key component here, and that is when that deep work in your hip starts to happen. So don't forget that. Keep pushing the left knee away. Hug your leg towards your chest. Relax your shoulders, relax your knees. Few more breaths here. You're almost at the end of the practice. Stay with it. And slowly release. Keep the legs as they are and drop them towards the left side. Open your right hand in a T, right shoulder fully down, left hand can push the thighs gently down. Stay here again for a few breaths. You can turn your neck towards your right palm or look in the front, whatever works. And slowly come back to center. And instead of Shavasana, what we are going to do is a Supta Baddha Konasana. So lying down, bound angle pose. So for that, join the soles of your feet and open your thighs out. See that your lower back feels comfortable. And if you feel the stretch is too much, you can place 2 yoga blocks or maybe 2 pillows just under your thighs for support. I'm going to go right way like this without any support, as I feel my hips are really open after the practice. So choose what works for you. Keep your hands either on your stomach or by your side. Relax your eyes. Close your eyes if possible. And just be aware of all the sensations in your hip, the inner hip, outer hip. Just be aware of the entire practice and its effects today. Allow your breath to guide you into this pose. With every exhale, you're slowly relaxing, letting gravity do its work. Noticing all the space that is created in your hips today. One more breath here, fully relaxed. And then use your hands, support your thighs as if you're closing a book. Gently bring your knees together, roll over to one side, and take support of your hands and slowly sit up. Come into a seated position once again and just notice how the sitting feels right now compared to when you started the practice to right now. Just be aware of the hips, aware of all the benefits of the practice today. And slowly open your eyes. Thank you for practicing with me. I hope this video makes your hips happy, and if you have any further questions, do leave them in the comments below. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Thank you so much. Until next time.